some of those police officers not only do not care, but a certain North Carolina police officer decided to offer a racist rant, caught on tape, saying, "I can't wait for a race war." Who submitted that one?
Monster! There's
Go.
Great man.
Okay.
Great job.
What? Where? What?
Play to the strengths.
There's a video of these cops, and I forget where they were. Was it North Carolina? I think it was North Carolina. 4 cops who had been on the force for years, ranting about the coming race war, how they were they're sick of black people. Let's just wipe them all out, right? We're going to set them back generations. So just basically believing there will be a race war, fully believing that they could stick whatever appendage of their body they want to into someone's mouth, and it would be validated and it would be fine because we're in a race war.
Well,
Does that make any sense?
Gun sales are, and I sent this article in the group, but gun sales are an all-time high in the United States, which, think how many gun crimes there are, how guns, they're like in the history of gun sales is the highest ever, 40% of whom are first-time gun owners. So I just think people are arming up, and it's like, I don't know if it's like for the race war, but that's exactly what it is, right? It's like you have people just waiting for the other side to give them a reason, right? Now you have all these videos of white people pulling guns on black people, right? Or just they're walking around with their automatic weapons, and it's like people are daring you to try. It's like they're waiting for an excuse.
I think it's also that they're extremely, like, the level of fear and the defense of space, the defense of my place in society. I should not be feeling this fear. The cops have failed because black people are no longer fearing me in the way that they should.
Right. But also look at all these people that are drawing guns right now. Like there's that wonderful one of like the woman who, it's one of the most frightening videos I've seen in quite a while, and every day is just another shit show after another. But it's from the point of view of the woman that is having the gun aimed at her, and the barrel is here, and it's frightening. And it isn't until you see this armed Karen realize, oh fuck, I'm being filmed. And you can literally see that moment. It's like when they're freeze framing Ralph Wiggum's heart being torn in two. It's that same moment where she just goes, oh fuck, I think I'm done, right? And that couple that we talked about last week that came out with the AR-15, the raisins stay in the potato salad. And his life having been ruined right now. Well, it should be, because you are an armed asshole. I think what we're seeing is a wonderful confluence of people being terrified of being left out in terms of resources because of COVID. We're seeing racial tensions being upheld. By the way, climate change not going away. So resources are going to dwindle, right? Mm-hmm. So we're in a great fucking spot. So yeah, buy up a gun. But what you're seeing is like they're trying to pivot on these moments of strength, knowing that in their heart they're the weakest people, and that's what's infuriating about this.
I totally agree. I would add, however, that America's been on the verge of a race war since the Civil War.
It's been in a race war.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the South never stopped the race war.
The North wasn't really all that inclined for peace either.
And ultimately, too, I think that it's going to kind of become like the situation between like Northern Ireland and the UK, or places where, or even Macedonia and Greece, where there's will always be a tension. It'll always be there. They may find some way to work out economic agreements, but there will always be a memory of history. There'll always be people who weren't even alive in the 1800s, but they have been told by their mother that their grandfather did the fucking with the grandfather, and then their family has unjustly been whatever by the North. That is always going to exist. I think that It's different now than the 1960s. It's different now than when SNCC appeared and when the Black Panthers appeared. Because I think back then, people truly believed, oh my God, this is actually the race war. Like, oh, right. Black people are actually taking arms. Oh, so that means there's a two-sided war. Oh, because we were just going to shoot the black people. That's
well,
that was
if you look at
war.
the history of race rights in states up until very recently, and that's post-60s, most of the race riots in America were white-led. White against black. But at the same time, there was just recently, July 4th, black militiamen marched on Georgia to Stonewall Park.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. Like hundreds of them just saying, Ku Klux Klan, where you at?
Yeah.
I mean, you got some brothers that ain't playing soft right now.
No.
Now, here's the thing.
It's pretty awesome to watch.
I'm totally against violence. I'm totally against guns. I want to make this very clear before I'm about to say what I'm about to say.
Here we go.
But
friggin', I know it.
I think we flippin' need somebody, thank you, just to say from the other side, hey, you can't intimidate us. Like, I know the whole thing about the Ku Klux Klan and the white hood and the burning crosses is about intimidation. But if there's anything they should have learned by now, it's people of color in America, of all colors, they're not intimidated. Like, there are wonderful people like the Martin Luther Kings who are like, look, you can commit violence against me, but actually all I have is love for this country and a desire to see peaceful resolution. Or you have Malcolm X's of the country who are like, I'm not scared and I'm armed, you know?
Right. Yeah.
There was a great book called Negroes with Guns that the Black Panthers loved. And
by the way, one of my favorite death metal bands.
That would be a great band.
And I think that brother fled to Cuba.
I think the band Living Color, that was their original name.
Yeah. Dude, I love
So this guy was not, he was not playing around. And he comes from a tradition that's been forgotten of Black people arming themselves against white aggression. Most of them either dead or leaving the country. So it's, man, there's, you know what, that's all I got.
I still think it's wrong to bear arms. I still think it's wrong. Just guns are wrong. And I know that there are people out there who are pro-gun who are like, Andrew, it's not the guns that kill people, it's the bow, whatever. It's like, okay, fine.
Which is which is the best reason not to have guns. Yes. People kill people. Yes. Don't give people guns.
Why do you gotta take our guns? Because you're stupid. That's why.
Not omit the role that Trump plays in this, right? I mean, Trump is fanning the flames of this race war. Like,
but it's been before Trump. And as a matter of fact, the woman who, the white couple that pulled a gun on the black family, they're being charged. Yeah. They're finally being charged.
Yeah.
And a part of me is like, yeah, they should be charged, but also maybe Americans should look into this thing of gun culture, and that. Because to a certain degree, like, what freaked me out about the woman taking the video, I would have been running. I would have been like, there would have been a video of me going like further and further away. But this woman doing the video was like, oh, you're going to shoot me? Are you going to shoot me? And I think that's just because in American culture, guns are just so prevalent. In their movies are prevalent, in their TV shows. It's just.
With that said, though, I don't think we can underestimate Trump's role in this, right? I mean, if you look at the alt-right, if you look at, like, he's galvanizing and supporting KKK members, neo-Nazis. He's like, they're committing crimes, and he's like, oh, it's fine. There's good people there too. Like, you see more of these guys coming out in public, organizing, marching, and you know, I just watched this documentary on Netflix called like Age of Rage or something about the alt-right, and he's galvanizing that movement. It's like people are being recruited to that movement, and he's a big part of it.
But on the other side of it, the base that he's speaking to is ostracizing more and more people that might have voted for him the first time. Mm-hmm. More and more people who may not feel threatened, but are like, oh my God, right? I don't think there's a huge shift in those numbers, I think right now you're stripping it down. He's stripping down his base to a core membership, and shedding all of those peripheral members, which is actually even more frightening. Actually,
I think that he's doubling down on the Confederacy flag loving, racist, sexist people. He's really, I think he feels like that's the way he's going to win the election. And if I were him, that's the strategy I'd use. If I was Trump, I'd be
the
like,
whole thing, I don't know if I've ever brought this up before. There are moments where I feel slightly sorry for Donald Trump. And here is why. He fancies himself an elite. He fancies himself one of the 1%. He fancies himself being one of the aristocrats in society. And he has failed at every step in the way to make this happen for him. And he wants to be among the top of the top in New York City or wherever he goes. And he is roundly mocked and ridiculed by his supposed peers and compatriots. So now imagine him knowing that that's the table he can't sit at, and the only people that actually like him are goobers in red hats who won't wear masks. Imagine that. Imagine him going, the only place I'm ever going to find love from people is to go and sit in someone's double wide and have a Bud Light.
Oh, and he despises those people, I'm sure, on a fundamental level.
But at the same time, he's got some of the richest people in the world,
of course,
in his back pocket.
Of course.
So.
But you know what?
But
the New York elites, though,
they don't like him. No, they don't respect.
No one likes him. I would like to kind of close the loop on the three things happening badly at once. I'm going to quote Greg Proops on this one. Someone asked him how he was doing, and he said, "This is a wonderful time if you want to live in 1919, 1932, and 1965 all at the same time."
That's brilliant.
That's Greg Proops. He's smart.